Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I wanted to rank all of my Colourpop palettes for you all. So I do have 7 palettes total in my collection, and if you didn't see, I did just get the 9-pan mystery palette, mystery bundle, so I did get 3 9-pan palettes from them recently, so I thought it would be fun to rank all of the palettes that I have from them today. So I am going to start at the bottom, and before we get into this, I want to just say I do love all of my Colourpop palettes. I love all of my palettes in my collection, but it is just fun to kind of look through and see what I'm preferring at a certain time, and this ranking could honestly change day to day. This is just kind of how I'm feeling in this moment. So coming in at number 7, we have the Wild Child palette. So this was one of the mystery palettes that I got, and this is just the neutral brown palette. It is a really nice palette, super easy to use. I definitely do enjoy a good neutral look on the day-to-day basis, but I do have other neutrals in my collection and some more exciting neutral palettes than this one. I think the quality of it was really nice, and I am sure I will get some good use on it. It's just, it isn't the most exciting, and I have other shades like this in my collection that I just prefer a little bit more, and the other palettes after this are just a little bit more exciting. Alright, I'm going to surprise myself with number 6. So for 6, I am putting my Baby Got Peach palette. This is another one of the 9 pans that I just got. So this is one that when they first released this palette, I was interested in the color story. It was one of the only monochromatic palettes that I was interested in, but I didn't end up picking it up at that time, so I was really happy when this did show up in the mystery bundle. I just really haven't gotten to play around with it too much yet. I think it's super cute. I think this is going to be a really easy color story for me to wear. I just honestly have not gotten a ton of use on it yet and haven't fully tested it out to see really how I like to use it. And the one small downside to this palette is it does have the pressed glitter in it, which is just not my favorite formula, and I really wish they had just done a classic shimmer shade instead, but that is just one shade out of them. So the rest of this palette I do think is really nice, and I think I will get some good use on it. I feel like this is one that the ranking will change the more I test it out. Alright, at number 5 we have the Main Squeeze palette, and I was honestly really surprised that I wanted to put this one above the peach one, but I have just been really interested in reaching for this one lately. I feel like this one has just been speaking to me a little bit more than the other two, and I think it's super pretty. When I first got this palette, I really wasn't sure I was even going to be that excited about it, that I was going to like it. I am not a big monochromatic person, so having a full monochromatic red palette wasn't exactly what I thought I would like, but I have just been kind of wanting to reach into this one a lot lately, so I am ranking this one a little bit higher than the others, but it is still underneath the rest of the Colourpop palettes in my collection. Alright, next up we have the Colourpop Sweet As Can Be at number 4. So here is what this one looks like. I think the color story of this one is super cute. The packaging of it as well is absolutely adorable. I love the theming. I will say the rest of the palettes that I have from Colourpop are collab palettes, and they do hold a special place in my heart for that reason. I really only purchase collab palettes if it is a collab with something I love, like Winnie the Pooh or the following ones you'll see. But the color story of this one is also super pretty. I have been playing around with this one quite a bit. The shade Sing Ho is in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project, so that has given me a good chance to reach into this palette and create some looks. I really do enjoy the looks that I create with this palette. I really don't have anything bad to say about this palette. I just like the other ones a little bit more. Alright, at number 3 we have the Back to Hogwarts palette. And I absolutely love Harry Potter, so this one is super fun. So I went back and forth a little bit between this one and the Sweet as Can Be palette, but I ultimately ended up putting this one above it just because it does have more variety. Since it is a larger palette, it has that opportunity to have a bigger variety of shades. You can still do some really nice neutral looks, but there are also quite a few different colors in here if you want to play around with those shades. And I really like this palette. I think it's super fun, super pretty. I've created some really pretty looks with this palette, and from day to day this one might switch with the Sweet as Can Be palette in ranking, but this is one of my favorite Colourpop palettes easily. Alright, if you know my collection, you know which two are last, so up next at number 2 we have the Colourpop Midnight Masquerade palette. So here is what this one looks like on the inside. I absolutely adore this palette. I think the color story is so pretty. It is super fun to play around with. I've created just so many looks that I absolutely love. I think the packaging of this is super pretty. I am a huge Disney Princess fan, and it takes a lot to talk me out of buying a Disney Princess inspired palette. I have skipped over the Snow White and the Beauty and the Beast palette, but it was really hard for me to say no to those. But I absolutely love the full designer collection that they did with Disney, so this palette is super pretty. I absolutely love it. I love the selection of mattes you get in here and the combination of the shimmers. Again, this one does have pressed glitters in it, which is not my favorite, but I just kind of work around those. I have used them before. They're just not something I really enjoy using a ton, but the rest of the shades in here are super pretty. Alright, then at number 1, I'm sure this isn't coming as a surprise to anybody. This is my favorite palette in my entire collection, not just within Colourpop, but out of all the palettes I own, this one is my favorite. This is the It's a Princess thing from Colourpop. First off, this packaging is just so pretty and elegant. I just love the design of it. And then here is the color story on the inside. So this one is a fairly neutral palette, I would say, but it has a couple fun pops of color. You get some pinks in here, some purples, but you can also just go neutral, which at the end of the day is what I love to do. But you can deepen this look up, you can lighten looks up. I feel like there is a lot you can do with this palette, even if it does look fairly neutral, and just the theming of it, the color story, everything about this palette is just perfect to me. I seriously cannot rave enough about this palette. I just absolutely love it, and this was easily my number 1 choice from Colourpop and my entire collection. So that will conclude this ranking of my Colourpop palettes. Let me know what you guys thought. Do you have a favorite palette from Colourpop? And if so, what is it? Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Let me know what else you would like to see from me. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future uploads. And with all of that said, I will see you in my next video. Bye!